What is it like to have children you don't want? I can tell you what it's like being the unwanted child. I went to the dentist once in my first 17 years. I had broken my nose twice and I just had to walk it off. I never saw a doctor. I would get yelled at if my shoes wore out too quick and they were Payless $19.99 shoes. As soon as was able to drive, the dinner table was only set for 2 instead of 3 because I could get my own food now. My lunch was a bologna white bread sandwich and an apple for 10 years straight. Fast forward, I moved in with my grandma. She said she would help out with college if I helped out around the house. First few months, she got me in the dentist, fixed all my teeth, and I got some braces on. Second, I was a mouth breather, so I went to a plastic surgeon, fixed my deviated septum right up. She also co-signed on a car loan so I could get around. She embraced every friend that came to the house while growing my up friends hid from my dad, because he was so mean. My grandma noticed that I would get home and run to my room, and one day she told me, I don't have to hide in there, I can hang out wherever I want. That's the difference between being a burden and being wanted. My mom just forgot we existed and had another baby to keep her happy. I have 10 siblings. Using an alt. Because my main can be linked back to me and I'm going to get very real. I had a perfect pregnancy. I was super cautious. Took my prenatal vitamin every day. Never drank, walked away if someone was smoking near me, etc. My child is severely special needs. She's autistic, but on the severe end with global developmental delay, which is just a nice way of saying mentally disabled. She is 6, but is now just learning to potty train. She is nonverbal, but thankfully understands simple directions. She screams for hours off and on at a time every day. And when she isn't screaming, she is making noises. She doesn't interact like a normal child and treats other people more like inanimate objects rather than people. No affection, no emotion, no interaction aside from pulling me to the fridge to get her food or handing me her toy so I can fix something on it. I don't feel like a mom. I feel like a caregiver. I get little joy in taking care of her, and I'm constantly worn down. I'm exhausted. This pandemic has destroyed what little sanity I had left, as I can't even get a small break because there is no school. This is going to sound absolutely terrible, and this is why I'm using an alt. But raising her is not like raising a child. You raise a child to be a decent adult. You teach them manners, respect, education, and kindness, and you hope that as they grow up, they will make friends, get good grades in school, and go on to have a fulfilling life. This feels like I am raising a very high-maintenance pet that will not evolve into anything more. For me, I am just keeping her alive. I am keeping her fed, clothed, warm, safe, and happy. It feels like I have been taking care of a baby for the past 6 years. She progresses very slowly and very little. I am hoping by the time she is in her 20s, we can maybe have a simple 1 or 2 sentence conversation, or maybe she can have the attention span to watch and understand a movie. I still talk to her and play with her, but it's so discouraging after years of not getting anything back. I mainly just snuggle with her on the couch while she plays with her tablet. It's one of the few ways we really bond. She likes toys and simple games on her tablet, so I buy her lots of them to keep her busy and hope that they keep her content so she isn't screaming and hitting herself. I see children much younger than her having full conversations with their parents, and I get so jealous. I see them telling their parents they want burgers for lunch, or talking about a fun thing they want to do or whatever, and I can't even imagine how easy my life would be if she could just communicate simple things like that. It's so tough. I take her to the playground and the other kids ask why she won't talk or play with them, pre-COVID days. We go out to the grocery store and she has a full meltdown, and we have to leave our cart behind. We go out to eat and she can't sit still and wants to get up and run around the restaurant, so we have to leave. She's only getting bigger and taller and she's getting harder to manage. She hits herself and others. Sometimes she smears her poop all over the wall. She slams her head into the wall and furniture when she's frustrated, which is often, like multiple times a day. She broke a window with her head a few weeks ago, and I was scared crap less she was going to need stitches, but luckily she somehow came out unharmed aside from a bruised forehead. I don't know how I'm going to handle her when she is a teen and as big as me. I don't like to think about it. If I knew this was going to be my life, I would have never had her. When I was pregnant, my husband and I agreed that if we found out the fetus was going to have Down syndrome or some other special needs, we would abort. You cannot detect autism in the womb. My husband and I have aged 20 years. We're overweight from stress eating. We're constantly on edge that she's going to give herself a concussion because she self-harms and we cannot stop it every time. We're sleep deprived, no sex life. Our brains are fried from all the screaming and constant noise. We argue and are short-tempered with each other. We are empty shells of what we used to be. Imagine having a monkey on your back 24/7 that just screamed and hit you. It breaks a person. We've been in weekly therapy for years, and I probably break down at least once a month during a session. I never ever thought we'd have a special needs kid. There's no family history, and like I said, I took amazing care of myself while pregnant. She was planned, my husband and I waited until we were financially stable to have her. We did everything right. We wanted more children, but now have decided not to have any more because it would be too much stress. I mourn what could have been. I wonder all the time how my life would be if she was a typical kid. If you want to put yourself in the headspace of a parent who has a profoundly special needs child, watch the movie Vivarium. It's about a couple who get stuck in this weird suburb that they cannot escape and are forced to raise this strange alien childlike being until they die of exhaustion. It's an odd science fiction, alien monster type of movie that's meant to be pure fantasy, but for me it was the realest movie I have ever watched. But even after all of that, I still love her so much and won't put her in a care center or in foster care. I'd be worried sick that she was being neglected or abused. When she's an adult, we're either going to turn our basement into a living space for her and hire an aide to help her, or we'll put her in an adult special needs home and visit her frequently to make sure she is okay. I just hate that it has to be this way. None of us deserve this life. If you see parents with special needs, kids out at the store or mall or wherever, please just be patient and kind. I have kids and I wanted them, but I was an unwanted kid. My mom and non-bio dad married when I was young. He raised me, but I never felt love from him at all. He married her to get her out of a bad situation. I thought he didn't want kids, but when I was about 5, 6, my sister was born. He wanted kids. He just didn't want me. I saw how different he was with her and his other kids they had later. Those who have kids that you don't want, they're aware on some level.